Good morning, everyone. I'm Sakshi Sharma and I'm the founder of Legal Vidhiya. I welcome you all to this session on why you should strive for LRship immediately after law school. Today we have with us Advocate Ishita Uppal ma'am. She is a lawyer currently working as a law researcher to a judge in the Punjab and Haryana High Court, a social activist who has served as the brand ambassador for Haryana State for the Save the Girl Child campaign from 2009 to 2015, and the recipient of the Asian Girl Human Rights Award 2014 and the Paramerica Spirit of Community Award 2012 in Delhi. And her endeavors towards social change are exceptional. We are glad to have you here with us today. She also shares invaluable insights on her LinkedIn profile for all the law students and legal community and the professionals of the same. And she's also certified yoga instructor who emphasizes the need for global physical and mental health across all professionals so that they can be a contributing part of the community. It is an honor to have you here with us today, ma'am. Thank you so much to all the participants who have joined the session. And now, ma'am, the platform is over to you. You can please begin the session.
Everyone. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Sakshi. Uh, okay, I am hoping most of you are law students or you are fresh graduates. So, uh, mostly you see there are two things. That first, you are under a lot of stress that after completing your law school, you think that you have two fields to step into. Either it is judiciary or it is litigation. But there is a third way as well, which is research work. Now, legal research is something which is very essential to the profession, both for the judges, for the judiciary side, as well as for the lawyers. But unfortunately, it is not taught to us, or we are not made aware of the importance of it while we are in law school. So, working as a law researcher, it opens up a new world for you. It prepares you for litigation. It also enhances your knowledge multifold if you wish to go for judiciary. Now we have a lot of law researchers, people working as law researchers who are preparing for judiciary side by side. And you may think that how can someone do that? Like you need complete focus on all of that. So what I suggest for people who are judiciary aspirants is that a lot of you are going for coachings. Go complete your coaching course for 1 year, but do not sit at home beyond that period of time and solely focus on academics, because you'll have your basics clear in 1 year. LRship is one opportunity that will give you a lot of time to study. Along with that, it will give you professional experience. And I think that if you want to become a judge, you must definitely have courtroom experience. So, whether you should go into litigation or LRship also, directly depends on what kind of judge you are getting the opportunity to work with, because it is a very sought after position in the High Court. And you people are from, I'm hoping you people are, not all of you are from Punjab or Haryana. So there is this thing that in Punjab and Haryana High Court, we have more than 50 judges. And every previously there was a rule that every judge can have up to two law researchers. Now it's been extended. They can have up to three law researchers. So there are more positions available. And how do you get this position is it is not advertised. So you have to be very proactive. You have to do internships to get to know how the court works. You have to have contacts. Um, you need to go out there, have your CVs in hand, and apply for it. I'll tell you how to you can apply for the position later down the session. Now, why what are the factors you need to consider to choose whether you should grab an opportunity of LRship? First of all, now, suppose you find there is an opening with a judge, please go and get to know what are the working hours of the court. In the High Court, every judge has their own working hours depending upon the roster. Okay, so who people, those of you who have questions, we can have a session towards the end. So I think someone's raising the hand. So just note down any questions you may have. We can have an interaction towards the end of once I complete it. All right, so I'll carry on. So yes, so find out what's the working of the court, what's the current roster, what kind of work does the judge give to the law researchers. You can go and speak to the current law researchers who are working there and get to know. Also, uh, so judges in the High Court are mostly elevated. They are already practicing, and most of them are elevated. Some of them come from the lower judiciary side, but most of them have a litigation career before them. So you should get to know that what that particular judge has the experience in. For example, I'm currently working with a judge who has more than 35 years of experience in civil litigation. She was on panel on all the schools in Chandigarh, and she has an extensive civil experience. So if you are interested in certain form of law, like you're interested in civil side or the criminal side, it will really impact you. It will shape your thinking in the way from the experience that the judge has to provide. So I had been working in the criminal roster a lot before, but recently I got to work with a different judge, and I'm gaining a lot of experience in civil law, something which I did not have before. So it really, really impacts you from what field the judge you are working with is coming. And this is something that people don't consider, but you must see that the court that you are getting to work in, what is the behavior and demeanor of the staff you are going to work with. And there are a lot of aspects to consider, but I think that the staff must be as respectful towards you. So these are the things you must consider. I'm telling you this because this is a very sought after position, and youngsters jump into whichever opportunity comes that way. Please don't do that, because you are going to do this job for 1 or 2 years, and it is going to shape a lot of your experiences, and you must choose a code considering all of these factors. Now, why LRship? People say that, so for those who just have to go into litigation, they say that ultimately when you are supposed to step into litigation, then why waste 1 or 2 years on LRship? Now the thing is ki someone who wants to learn can do so from any side of the bar. Suppose you are a fresh graduate, you join a senior. Most of your work will be doing the work in the office. The next day, you will be on the side assisting or learning from the senior you're working with. However, if you're working with as a law researcher, you're sitting on the other side of the bar. You get to see and learn from all the senior advocates who are appearing in your court. So you're not just learning from one senior, you're learning from everyone. More than learning on what to say in court, on how to appear in court, on what kind of arguments to present. The best thing that I've learned as a law researcher is what not to say, how not to appear, you know, uh, to what extent you should speak. So these are the things which I think that you do not get an opportunity of grabbing when you're working with just one individual. Also, unfortunately, there is a trend that juniors are mostly just sent to ask for adjournments, and they are sent to wait in a particular court and just wait for the serial number and then apprise the senior that this has come. So initially, it can be very discouraging for someone. You may feel exhausted by constantly just waiting all day, going to court and just waiting for the item numbers. There is not enough opportunity to present your own ideas. That is something that you can do as a researcher, because the judgments will depend on the research work that you do. You will be given an opportunity to give your views, present your ideas, which will be relevant to the case. And not just one case, there'll be all the cases that a judge is supposed to decide. So someone who has to learn can do so from any side of the bar. Do not have this constriction in your head that you won't learn on the other side of the bar. The opportunities are vast and much, much more than as compared to litigation and working with just one senior. Now, working as an LR also gives you thorough experience of how the legal system works. I don't think that any place that I've interned at ever, I was interning every year during my college, and they don't start with the basics. If you go to a court, you must know where the filing is done. At a senior's office, the munshi or the clerks will be doing the filing work, all the clerical work. However, when you join as a law researcher, you get to witness intricate details, the functioning of the system. That is very, very essential. So even if you're not coming from a background where you know the work of district courts, how the law system works, you get to know those details while working as a law researcher. You get to know the, even the smallest of terms which are used. What's a jamabandi, what's a rukka, all of these things. If you're not, you are definitely not taught that in law school, and you might not be told about it at a senior's office. But the court staff, the reader, the secretaries, they'll all apprise you of these small minute details because you will be supposed to deal with it yourself. So yes, it helps you when you start your own practice. So even if you're not coming from from district court, how you've practiced in district court, working as a law researcher, the court staff gives you a lot of knowledge about these things. Moving on, working as an LR gives you insight on working of the court staff. So again, who are the secretaries? When a judgment comes into force, it's a judge dictates it. So there are secretaries, and there are multiple secretaries to a single judge. So they note down the order, then they are stenos basically, and they also form it and shape it. While dictation, something may not come out as a whole complete sentence, might not be grammatically correct, but for a judgment to come into force, the working of the entire court is essential. A reader is someone who has a lot of impact and has a lot of knowledge also, because most of these readers are coming from lower judiciary side. They have the knowledge of how the system works. So that is very much essential. You understand how the court staff works, because once you are a lawyer, you come into practice, or even you become a judge in the lower judiciary side, this knowledge will really, really help you. From the small, taking a small example, that if you are a lawyer, you become a lawyer later, you want to ask for a date, you will know how to approach a reader, how to give him let him give you a date of your choice. So these are the intricacies of the court, working of the court staff, which you must understand, and this is a very good opportunity for you to do that. Now, uh, good research is the foundation of a strong legal career, whether it is in litigation or it is in judiciary. There are so many law researchers who are preparing for judiciary and they've cleared it as well. So I think if your research is good, you can excel in any legal field. Research work is not taught to us in law school. And see, previously people used to do the research on via these law journals. Now we do the research on these softwares, online softwares such as Law Finder, SEC Online, Manupatra, and there are a couple of other ones, but Law Finder and SEC are the most used ones. So working as a law researcher gives you thorough insight on the working. If you are supposed to find a particular judgment relevant to the case, you need to put the correct keywords, and that is something you can only do by experience. So when you start, you might not be able to find judgments, but with some experience, constantly, there'll be a hit and trial, there'll be trial and error, and you'll get there. And after 2 or 3 years of practicing this, It will make you so perfect that you will know exactly what keywords to put in the search engine to find a judgment in your favor or against whatever you're looking for. So it is very, very essential that you do that. Even if you directly start into litigation, I think legal research is something anyone and everyone should master. So, but there's no better way than becoming a law researcher to do that. All right. Moving on. You know, as a lawyer, you're on this side of the bar, a judge is on the other side of the bar. You can only think about what the judge is saying in relevance or in connection to your case. But if you're sitting there every day, you are discussing legal propositions with someone who has so much experience in the field, you get an insight into the mind of the judge. So there are so many ways that a proposition can be thought about. You won't even know until you discuss it with someone as experienced as a judge. So every day is a new learning experience. You get to think from various angles. So your mind is not just constricted towards one angle. If there is a proposition, any proposition, and you will only think from the side that you are representing. When you're working with a judge, you get to see all perspectives in totality. So you don't just prepare, you learn how to prepare your case. You also learn how to defend it if some other arguments comes up. So that is there. Now, uh, last but not the least, LRship pays, and it is very essential. You need your own bread and butter. Your parents, our parents have spent a lot on our education. It's a controversial topic that the juniors are inadequately paid or not paid at all in most cases. Well, some people support it. I personally do not. And even if you have to do litigation, you have to go to, even if you're doing judiciary, you'll be studying at home constantly, not making any money for yourself. You'll still be a dependent person on your family. So, but if you just prepare for 1 year after your law school, do your coaching, then you come into the field. I think LRship pays really, really well. It pays twice or thrice the amount that you'll be getting as a junior, as a fresh law graduate. And that also I'm talking about if you're working in a really, really good office, like a very high end office. You'll the junior pay starts from around 10,000 a month, which may just cover your petrol or fuel for the month. So that's really sad. But LRship pays you really well. And research opportunities are not just available in the High Court, they are available with various companies. So you have to do some research yourself. You have to get out there. I think that most of you do have your an active LinkedIn account. So use that while you're in law school. I get a lot of messages from law students on LinkedIn. So I think you have to be very proactive yourself. What earning for these 2 3 years will do is that you'll be able to save and have a saving which will act as a backup when you step into litigation. So when you step into litigation, even if you're not paid by a senior initially, by the time you get there, that you start getting paid for your cases, even if you start independently, you'll have a backup to support you. I think that's very essential. uh, for me personally, it is very essential that once you're done with college, you become independent. So this is a job in our field that can get you there. It can, if you want to pursue an LLM, let's say, even if you have to pursue an LLM abroad, you can work as a law researcher for a couple of years, for like 3 years maximum. You can do it is for 4 years in Punjab and Haryana High Court. It could be different for different high courts and the Supreme Court, I'm not aware, but in Punjab and Haryana High Court it's 4 years. So you can do that. You can save for your LLM abroad yourself. You can get scholarships and you can do that. So there are a lot of opportunities available. It is not a post which people think that you can only get through approach. So someone randomly just texted me on LinkedIn that, do you have contacts? I was like, for what? They were like, with a judge. And I was like, what do you mean? So they said that we want to work as an LR, but we need contacts. So no, I even did a post on LinkedIn that no, you don't need contacts to work as a law researcher. The thing is that if you are constantly dependent on someone else to get your job, you may not get it unless you actually have those contacts. But the thing is, judges also need good and hardworking law researchers. So I'll tell you a way to do that is that prepare really, well detailed curriculum vitae, your resumes, put in all the internship experiences, put in attach a cover letter on why you are suited for the role or for the job, and just take a round around high court, find out in what courts there are vacancies. There are always vacancies available here or there, but you need to go out around there, find them yourself. Ask the staff to speak with the you must speak with the special secretary to the judge, and just tell them that you're interested to apply. In most cases, judges instantly agree to even meet and interview you, so be prepared for that. And yes, I think I know uh, like 4 to 5 people who use the same method to get a job, so it's pretty viable option. And now all judges can have up to 3 law researchers. So yes, vacancies are available. If you are hardworking enough, you will probably get the job, and maybe not instantly. So I worked with Justice Jayashree Thakur. She was That was my first job. So while I was interning in my 4th year, uh, I came across a case, and I went to witness the hearing of the case where some girls needed some financial help. At the time, we sponsored the help through my NGO. And later, I just used to, visit the judge and apprise her of the status of those girls. Eventually, in my final year, I told her that I'd like to intern with her, and I gave her my CV. So somehow she said that we don't have any position right now. She probably kept my CV in her desk. 2 years later, I got a call that if I'm still interested, I can work with her. So that's how I got my first job. What I'm trying to tell you is you need to be outspoken, you need to be confident enough. Go out there, go out in the field, talk to people, make contacts, make friends, and you will certainly get a lot of exposure out there. So, this is how you should apply. Now, what is the maximum period of time that I recommend for pursuing LRship? That again depends, first of all, whether you are a judiciary aspirant or you directly want to come into litigation. If you are a judiciary aspirant, use all your 4 years. There is no harm in that, absolutely. Because judiciary could take you 1 year, judiciary could take you four. And even for it's a fact, okay, let's be practical that even for someone who's worthy, that person may make it, but might not even make it in 5 or 10 years. So keeping that aside, use your 4 years if you have to, because the job pays. uh, the work differs in each court, but mostly during the day when the hearing is going on, you can use that time to the best of your advantage. You have to develop concentration and focus, that you can focus on your studies while the hearing is going on. You have a desk to yourself, you have ample space, you can study, you can read, you have access to the judge's library, so you have a lot of material available. You have a judge who can be a guiding figure for you. So the opportunities and the sources are endless. However, if you want to come into litigation, then I recommend you do it for minimum of 1 year, but for a maximum of 2 years. Although you have 4 years available, it's not essential you do it, because eventually, if you have to come into litigation, the sooner you start, the better. But 2 years of LRship experience will make you ready for the field. You will have a financial backup to support yourself. So I think you should not do it for more than 2 years. If you want to pursue an LLM abroad, so do it as long as you have the funds saved up, you have a backup to support your own LLM. And you need not essentially choose an LLM in US or anywhere where it costs like 50 lakhs. LLMs are honestly very economical. There are countless specializations in which you can pursue your masters. So explore the options. You can explore the options in Europe. So many are available where you can do your LLM for less than 10 lakhs for the entire course. And in most of these places, the duration is 9 months to 1 year. So you can explore that option as well. Mm, so for that, you can work as long as you have your funds backed up and you will know better. So make the choice considering all of these factors. So that is most of it. And you can now ask me any questions or queries you have. Sakshi will let you in. Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So if anyone has a question, you can raise your hand and you can just unmute yourself and speak up.
If anyone has any query, please unmute yourself.
Sakshi, you are in which year?
Ma'am, I'm in my final one, and ma'am, there's a query.
Okay.
Sahil Gupta, what
All
kind
right.
of CV and experience should we have to be selected as a law researcher?
Yeah. Could you please repeat yourself?
What kind of CV and experience should we have to be selected as a law researcher?
So you don't need any. There is no particular experience you'll need. This is why it's best suited for fresh law graduates, even if with zero experience. As long as you're hardworking, you know what you're getting into. You have put in decent hard work in your law school. Grades do not matter, but you should know what you're talking about because you will definitely be interviewed by the judge, and it won't be like a very hard and fast, strict kind of interview. It will be more like an interaction, and I think someone with the experience of a judge can easily make out whether you're willing to put in the hard work or not. So I think the most essential quality that you must possess is that you must not just be like, yeah, casually you are coming to do a job. You must be very serious about it. You must be clear about your goals. That is the second thing, because judges ask, I think this would be one of the first questions you'll be put, that what are your plans once you're done with the research ship. So yes, you must be clear about that in your head. It should not be a casual take on your side. So there are no particulars. Just have the CV should be formal. Uh, Obviously, the younger generations than me and myself are even more smart. So use Canva, use the unlimited resources available online. Design really nice formal CVs. I myself used Canva for my own CV, but keep it professional. So these are the only things. Don't like design your CV like an amateur, like maybe a school kid, because a CV that recently came to me for a post was the candidate had not mentioned the grades that he or she got during the LLB, during the school. That's something very, very basic to include. And the more internships you've done, the better. Also, if you do not instantly get to become a law researcher, find a judge who approves you to intern with them. It is, even if you've not done any judicial internship during your law school, that's fine, totally fine. Once you have completed your studies, go and do 1 or 2 months of internship. If you work hard enough, if you show your sincerity, the judge will probably consider you for a post or might even recommend you to some other judge who needs a research. So there's nothing in particular, but be formal in it. And the more internships, the better. Yes. So focus on the internships that you do.
Thank you, ma'am. So does anyone have any other query?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, I know like many of them wanted to ask this question, like you mentioned, to approach the judge, even for LRC or whether for internship. Like what
Right.
approach should a person use in this? Whether they directly contact the judge through LinkedIn or visit their office, and how did it end?
So most of the judges are not available on the online platforms for professional reasons. Sometimes they even cannot while they are in a holding office. So the right way to go about it is go around the high court. Okay, sit in various courts. Okay, try to resonate, try to find out which is a judge that you feel inspired by, you resonate with. If you look up Justice Jayashree Thakur, to me she was very inspiring, and to hundreds and thousands of other people also she was really really inspiring. So that is something that made me give my CV to her for, and apply for internship over there. So that is one way to go about it. Find a judge you are inspired by, or inspired someone's work, whose work has inspired you. And yes, you can directly go just when the court timings are over, which is at 4. You can also like find out in the lunch break at what time the judge usually gets up. Okay. So because it depends on what kind of work they're doing, what roster they have. Then speak to the reader. A reader is also at a very high position, or the special secretary. Have a cover letter with your intention specified along with your CV. Hand it over to them. Wait, ask them that whether I should wait. Make sure that they do convey, take their number, and just even if they say no, just say thank you. Tell them that they can still, if they have opportunity in the future, they can let you know and you'll be open to it. So directly go, don't be afraid of anything. And those of you who are situated locally in Chandigarh, if you need any kind of help, I am currently working with Justice Alka Sareen in Punjab and Haryana High Court. Once you're in the High Court, you can obviously find where I am. So you can come up to me after 4, and we can I can let you know, I can help you out in these internships. Another way is that there is a registrar in the high court, so you can leave your CVs with the registrar. Wherever an opportunity arises, the registrar sends those CVs, and you may be called in for an interview later. So you can just note down these couple of things.
Um, Once again, ma'am, want to ask few more things.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
yes, ma'am. Like, ma'am, what is the difference between the usual research we do in our college time during the moot court competition and other
Mhm.
things, and what is the difference between the research work we do in the LRC?
All right, good question. So in college, see, the softwares that we use, Law Finder and SCC, these are paid softwares. Okay. Working as a law researcher, you have access to these softwares. In college, you probably do not have access to these paid softwares. These softwares do not only have judgments, they have legal articles. So sometimes when we are unable to find a judgment, or there is no judgment, then we go to the articles and we try to read the law discussed during various judgments. So even if we are not able to find something directly, we twist our finger and find something out indirectly that favors our case. So that is there. In law school, no one teaches you how to go about it. When you're working with a professional, you have their guidance to help you out. So there are times when you reach a dead end and you cannot find the proposition or judgment for the proposition you've been given. Then you'll approach your senior, and your senior will give you a different angle to view the proposition with. So these are the things. And the teachers who are helping us out in law schools, most of them have never practiced in courts, right? So that is a major difference again. They are not able to help you in a way that a legal professional is. So these are small things on how you are guided towards it. In your moot court competitions, Google does not have everything. So the research work that you do on there, and Indian Kanoon is a very good platform, but then again, its a search optimization is not that decent. So the free platforms that are available to you during your law schools are not good enough. That is the main difference, I would say.
Ma'am, last time disturbing. One thing I wanted to add more, ma'am, whether
Mhm.
we can apply at district courts or looking for High Court and Supreme Court was the only key.
No, no, you can certainly go for district courts. Why not? Go ahead, just find out what the procedure is. Personally, I have not practiced in district courts, but yes, people have. Some people do, work with district court judges. Although there is no post of a legal researcher with the district court judges, so the best you can do is maybe intern with them. That is there, but there is no paid post available with the district court. This is why you need to approach the High Court or the Supreme Court. Now, if you want to do LRship in the Supreme Court, there is a written exam for it, so you need to prepare for that. And there are a lot of there's a lot of material online on how you can prepare for it. What all is there in Supreme Court? There are posts. One judge can have up to 4 law researchers. So, and the pay is even better. I think it is the starting is 80K a month. So yeah, Supreme Court is also a decent option. But I still recommend like our High Court is pretty good to do LRship. Plus, you get to live in Chandigarh, so that is there. But yes, if you want to go to Supreme Court, go ahead. In district courts, there is no paid position for a law researcher.
Ma'am, last question, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
One can look for a permanent career option as a LRship, or it is just a temporary thing?
Okay. Law, the post of a law researcher, it is a contractual position. They initially give you a contract for 6 months, then depending upon your work, they keep on renewing it. However, it can be for renewed for the maximum period of just 4 years. So yes, it's a temporary position available. About the career in research, to be a permanent one, you have to move to the corporate sector. So research work can be done. You either have to move it to a corporate sector, or you have to go to academia, you pursue your LLM, you continue research in a particular field. That is how you can dwell on it and make it a permanent, field for yourself, where your research is leading to something new in the field. That is there. However, to add to it, personally, I feel ki, you might not experience personal growth to pursue this in a long for a long span of time. So if you need personal growth, I don't think it is going to give you that for like 10 years or more. So you need to step up your game and learn new stuff, apply this legal research is basically a medium to to take you to a higher level. So I advise you use it for that.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, I do have a query. How has your experience been as a LR with the justice that you're currently working with? And
So
what are your key takeaways?
what are, sorry?
What are your key takeaways on what you're fluent?
Okay, so a lot. Okay, I think joining as a law researcher was the best decision that I made for myself. Uh, First and foremost, which mattered to me, as I said, was being independent on my own. So as soon as I was in the job, I was initially, in 6 months or so, I started becoming financially independent. So that was something which was very important to me. Career wise, it gave me so much exposure. I was given a platform where I could express my opinions. That is something extremely important to me. That is something a lot of my friends who are working in offices tell me that they're not getting. So I obviously have an edge over that. Thirdly, you're working on a government post. So yes, it puts you at a pedestal, it puts you in a platform of responsibility. You're more respected, and you can help people out. You're in a position of impacting lives. Way better than I think at this age, and with this little experience you can put in a lot of impact, because when you are researching for a judgment, when you're reading a file, you know that if you want to you personally form an opinion on which is the right side. You might not be correct, but one thing is that you get to find judgments for both sides. So if, you have to give the judge the law laid down from both the sides, the plaintiffs, defendants, or the petitioners and the opposite parties, right? So you get to think from both angles. You know that your opinion, your work can make or break a case. So you have responsibility for that. You know that you'll be helping people out. That is also extremely important. And then thankfully for me, both the judges that I've worked with were eminent jurists. So Justice Jayashree Thakur, you can research her up. She's given such good, such tremendously good judgments during her career. And although her forte was civil law, but she's given exceptional judgments, especially for juveniles. So that is there. And I'm currently working with Justice Alka Serene. She has more than 35 years of experience in civil law. And she gives insights that, that even a lot of experienced lawyers cannot think about. So, when you get to talk to such experienced seniors, you're guided by them, the way you think completely changes. It influences you, it prepares you for a very, very decent legal career, trust me. So, this is why I began the webinar by telling you how to choose the court that you're working in. Do not jump at any opportunity. Try to work with a person who's inspiring you as a senior. This is very important. So, yes, these are three takeaways that I have so far. Yes, one more. So, see, you will get to know, like, this is just from the side of being a youngster and being a woman. A lot of misogyny exists in the legal system. No one is going to tell you that. You will experience it yourself when you come into the field. So for girls right here, I'll tell you, be prepared for it. Be prepared that the people you are going in front of, they are misogynistic. You will learn to be patient with them. You will learn to assert your point respectfully, and you will learn how to command respect as well. This is something you'll learn with experience. No one will tell you that. Obviously, this is not something that you can, initially go and fight out. You have to fight it out with the work. You have to fight it with your skill, with your caliber, and that will be your strength over there. And to the young boys here in the seminar, I'd like to tell you that know the fact that you will have an edge in the career just because the society is misogynistic, the system that you're getting into is misogynistic. So you will have an edge over women, but please do not try to misuse it or think that you are better, because that is happening, when you join a litigation office. For the work that a guy is doing and a girl is doing, for the same work, a girl is being paid less. This is happening in really high end offices. So this is something I think everyone should speak up against. Also, as long as juniors or fresh law graduates, they continue to work for free. Again, it's a personal and controversial opinion. You're not going to be paid. So you have to, my best friend's mother, she gave a very, very good advice once, So my friend just completed her LLM in the US and she came back. Now this person spent around 2 crores in US doing her LLM. On coming back into India, she was being offered jobs for 10K a month. And her mother said that no, I'll let you sit at home, study, do whatever you want, but accept the job where your skill is valued. So LRship is something where your skill is valued. And just paying a person is the first step towards acknowledging and showing that yes, your work, your time, and your efforts are valued. So do not just accept any opportunity. Do not work in any office. Do not work in a place that you are not respected in. Have your integrity, just even when you are beginning. So because if you do not have it when you are beginning, you will never have it. So these are the takeaways that you should really, really focus on.
Thank you, ma'am. Mahesh, you have raised your hand. Do you have any query? Mahesh, you're not audible. Please write it down in the chat box. Ma'am, I don't believe there's a query. So, firstly, thank you, ma'am, for joining the session and for giving insights on LRship and how we can gain one. And it was indeed a very great session.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
thank you so much, ma'am. And on behalf
Anyone
of
who still has any queries, you have any
yeah,
sort of queries or anything, I think Anamika is also raising her hand. One
there's a question, ma'am.
Yes. How to figure out what to do after completing a law degree. Okay, so this was primarily what the webinar was about. But yes, you can, do internships really help you to find your forte, what you're interested in. So as a law student, I interned in offices who do civil work, offices who do criminal work, and also I did a judicial internship. So this will really, really help you. Internships will really help you understand what you have the knack for, what you are interested in, what you are good at. So I think internships are the key to it. You have to focus, even if you've not done sufficient internships. Go out, try a few fields out, try out different, read. Okay, start by reading everything. Read judgments. Free material is available in plenty and like so much online. So the more you read, the more you get to know what interests you. Also, there is this platform, The Leaflet. It is by a senior advocate of the Supreme Court, Indira Jaising. The Leaflet is is for legal journals and legal platforms what the Hindu is to newspapers. So read articles on the leaflets. They have really well opinionated pieces. So that is there. I hope that answers your query. I think Anamika also has a question.
Ma'am, ma'am, I am currently in a fourth year and I am preparing for judiciary. So
Okay.
is it important to doing internship? And I already doing internship in a district court and some online internship. So in fourth and fifth year, is it necessary to doing internship or yeah preparing for judiciary, focused on judiciary, which is more important?
See, 1 month of internship is not going to harm you. Someone has their mic on. I think that's fine now. Okay. So Anamika, see, internship is not going to harm you in any way. Internship will maximum be for a period of 1 month. Your fourth and fifth years are the best for you to do internships because now you've read IPC, CPC, CRPC, right? So especially in your final year, when you've read these acts, it's easier for you to read the files in an internship office, understand what's going on and about. As for judiciary, go for judiciary, give your all. But that does not mean that you have to particularly just be in that thing. You just don't have to bury yourself in books. Try to achieve a balance. Okay. Try to have fields open, options open for you. Even once you're done with your college, you're still preparing for judiciary. Don't stretch it out too far that other options become close to you. So I know so many people who prepared for judiciary like for 6 and 7 years after completing law school, were not able to crack judiciary despite their merit and everything. And now, as a result of which, what happens is that after 6 years, suppose you are 22 or 23 when you finish law school, let's say even 24, you give 6 years for preparing judiciary, you are now 30, and then you decide that judiciary wasn't achievable or wasn't, now it's a closed option. Now let's come into litigation. Now when you come into litigation after 6 years of preparing for judiciary, no doubt you have a lot of knowledge in your head from all the preparation and years, but you have zero experience compared to a friend or a colleague or a classmate of yours who did law school and instantly started practicing. You are 6 years behind in life in all aspects. This is why I told you in the very beginning that after completing law school, give one complete year to your judiciary coaching and everything, but join a job after that. Come into the field, start working. You don't want to be lacking experience, even if you become a judge. So now that you become judges by giving examinations, it is very important. I feel the system has a huge gap where we are appointing judges who have zero courtroom experience. So courtroom experience is very essential, whether you have it as a law researcher or you have it in litigation. So yes, go for internships, because if you do not take out a couple of months for internships now, you might regret it later. So achieve a state of balance. Internships don't take a lot of time. So yes, go for it. You should definitely go for internships. You don't have to stop your judiciary preparation while you are interning in any place. So I hope that answers you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So there's a question here by Priyans. So what if I don't do any internship till my third or fourth year will this impact. No, it may not impact you personally. If you're starting law school, do internship in all years. So my father had a friend and he said ki he has an office, you go and intern there. Now when I went over there as a first year student, I knew nothing. But also when I went there and I started reading, they gave me files to read in the very first year. I did not know how to read an FIR, how to read a file. By the time I was in third year, I had already done three internships. I had an edge over, sorry, my own classmates who had not done any internships. So when I entered and I became a law researcher after completing law school, I knew how to read files. I think it is very, very important. It's the basic on which sequence you are supposed to read a file. Suppose in a criminal case, your very first thing is that you read an FIR. Okay, before even reading the pleadings, you must read an FIR. So these are very basic things that you learn only at internship offices. Then there are plethora of terms, terminology that you do not enter. They don't teach you all this Hindu, and most of our legal terminology is coming from Urdu and Persian, like rukka, all of these things. They don't teach you this in law school. You'll get to learn this either in an internship office or when you start working. So yes, but if you haven't interned in till third year, no problem. Go ahead, find an internship in your summers. Spend your entire summer break interning at the office, any office you find, whether district court or high court, does not matter. The point is you will learn. You will have an edge over people who chose to spend their vacations at home and doing nothing, watching Netflix and everything. So it's not too late. Even if you completed college, you've not done any internship except the compulsory internship in your final year, go now, intern for 2 or 3 months at some office, and try to make up for the time, because you cannot get back the time which is lost. But try to make the best of the time that you have now. So that is there.
Thank you, ma'am. Ria, do you have a question? Uh, Ma'am, the question is, do you suggest an internship from the first year?
Sorry, could you repeat yourself?
Do you suggest to do internships from the first year onwards?
Certainly, I think I just answered this in my in the previous question someone had put. Go ahead, go and turn in your, once you've done your first year, there is a summer break. So go ahead, find any office you want to work in, pick up files. Also, when you're doing internships, go ask for files. You are not supposed to, go in an internship office, sit and wait for them to give you work. You have to ask for work. Even this will apply till the time you get a job. You have to ask for work. You need to be yourself willing to learn. Only then will the seniors be interested in teaching you. So go find a munshi, make friends with the munshi, tell them they have the list of the cases listed the next day for court. So those cases come out the very same day. And you tell them that give us any file which is listed tomorrow. Read the file. If you don't understand, approach a senior, because when you approach a senior without reading a file, they will not teach you. If you read a file, they will know that yes, you've read the file, you know what's in there. They'll help you out. Next day, go to the court where the case is listed, observe the hearings, observe what has happened in the matter. So you know put yourself into it. And yes, even in your first year, go there. If the maximum which can happen is you will not understand, but that will motivate you to work for it in a better way and motivate you to ask questions. That is what will happen. It will make you curious, and the things that you learn there in internships, they will help you out once you are completed with your law school and you enter the profession. You will have an edge. You will only understand after completing of law school that the kids who did not intern anywhere, you'll be smarter than them. You'll have more courtroom experience and you'll have more knowledge on how it all functions. So yes, go ahead, find any internship, find friends of your parents who are advocates and ask your parents ki, we want to go and work in their offices. So go yourself. And also something very important out of context here, but we be well dressed. If you're interning at an office, appear in uniform, dress smart, dress really smart. And I keep dropping these suggestions on my LinkedIn all the time. So even if you have any other queries in future, drop me a message on LinkedIn, and you can read my posts on LinkedIn. They give a lot of insights into all of these things. So
Ma'am, there's one more that I am from a tier 3 city and a Hindi medium student.
Mm-hmm.
Does it matter in my corporate law career?
Sorry, what was the last sentence?
Does it matter in my corporate law career?
That you are from Hindi medium.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is uh this is another lacuna in our system. See, recently the Chief Justice of India, he gave a statement, I think at Prayagraj, right, that start teaching students in Hindi. Now the problem that comes up is the language of the High Courts and the Supreme Court is English. If an advocate appears from lower judiciary side, sometimes they are ridiculed for not knowing English. That is a sad state of affairs. But it is not like that, that opportunities in Hindi or for students from Hindi medium are not available. But you, yes, it could be a struggle, it could be a challenge to find the right opportunities for you. But no, it is not like they do not exist. There are states in India where the litigation is still practiced in Hindi. So find where the opportunities, right opportunities exist for you. On the side, I will recommend that do work on your English. While you cannot, entirely fight the system, it is essential that you do prepare for the existing one. What I mean to say is here, suppose there is something bad wrong happening in the society. For example, let's take this, that you are not allowed to argue in Hindi in high courts or Supreme Court. Now yes, you must this is something wrong that you must fight against, but during the time that you fight it, you will need English. So yes, whatever wrong is going on there, you can pose challenges to it, you can fight those challenges, but you must be prepared for the society that also already exists. So we can talk about it on call if you want again. I hope I made myself clear to you that right opportunities do exist, you need to find them. The struggle could be harder for you, but it's not like it does not exist. We are from a country that mostly speaks Hindi, especially in the northern part. So yes, opportunities exist for you, but it's not like they don't exist. At the same time, I would recommend you to work on your English language as well, because it's not going to help you inside the country, it's going to help you on an international level as well in future. If you decide to go for an LLM, or decide to go for any conference abroad, or want to learn something which is happening abroad, it will really really help you. So that is also there.
Thank you, ma'am. I don't believe there are any more questions. So thank you once again for answering all the questions.
Thank
Um, and for joining the session as well. We'd also like you to conduct more sessions with us on legal research since you're, I believe, great at it.
Definitely,
It's really an
definitely.
honor to have you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining in. You can get connect with me on LinkedIn. You can drop any questions you may have. I try to get back to most of them. So yes, see you soon.